Good evening. This is open source software and hardware DET 3107 elective 1. Course outcomes: to have an introductory knowledge of concept of open and free software and hardware, introduction of the Arduino hardware, Raspberry Pi, Internet of the Things IoT, to get an in-depth knowledge of Arduino software IDE, simple programs, interfacing of basic hardware modules with Arduino, to acquire knowledge of interfacing and programming of Arduino for ADC, DC motor, servo motor, Bluetooth, Zigbee, Wi-Fi and PWM programming. To understand the details regarding LaTeX software with its installation, programming, processing, software facilities useful for various document preparation. To understand the details regarding the Scilab software with its installation, programming, processing, console, editor, graphics, window, software facilities useful for various technical calculations. To study KiCad as an electronic computer-aided design, ECAD tool for the designing, circuit schematic, electric rule checking, netlist generation, mapping components and designing PCB. So this is regarding the open source software and hardware. Course outcomes. So we have seen the installation steps, we have seen the details of the software windows, we have seen the selecting the serial port and board, and we have seen the execution of the Arduino sketch, right from opening the sketch or writing the sketch to the execution of the program, uploading and execution, compiling, uploading and execution. So we have seen the details of Arduino programming, the structure of the programming, void setup, void loop. While void setup is for initialization code of the for initialization of the different variables and files, and it is executing only once in the start of the program. And while loop is a main code, having the main code of the sketch, and it executes for infinite times, or it executes continuously, because its name is also loop. That's why name is also loop. So for programming, we have bare minimum code. While setup should be there, while loop should be there. In while setup, we have to put the setup code, and it runs once, and in loop there we have to put the main code here, and it runs repeatedly. So this is the bare minimum code. Then we have seen the pin mode. It defines the direction of the pin, input or output. Then examples we have seen. Then pin voltages we have seen in case of TTL, in case of CMOS, 5 volt, 0 volt, 3.3 volt, 0 volt for high and low logic. Then we have seen the connection of the external LED, suppose external circuitry LED, and in that connection we have seen the how to connect LED with some additional serial resistor. Okay, 2.1, 2.1 and 34. So yesterday we are left with 2.1, page number 34. Okay, I will open 2.4 now. 2.1. I will share 2.1 first, then we will go for 2.2. So we have seen yesterday the details of the bits and bytes and nibble and word, isn't it? One bit is a single number in the digital system, and one bit is having value either 0 or 1, isn't it? Yesterday we have seen this. Yesterday we are left with this. Then we have byte, which contains total 8 bits, isn't it? So 8 bits may be again divided, one byte may be again divided into 4 bits each. It is called nibble. Okay, this we have seen. Then for 2 nibbles it forms 1 byte, and our 2 more nibbles will form 1 more byte. 2 bytes will form 1 word. So either word or byte or nibble, the least significant bit also is there and most significant bit is there. Single number in digital system is bit. Least significant bit is having minimum value and most significant bit will have maximum value or weightage in the number. So first number is 1 into 10 raised to 2 raised to 0, second is 1 into 2 raised to 1, and so on. If it is a 16-bit word, then it will be 1 into 10 raised to 15, last MSB. So it is having weight 10 raised to 2 raised to 15. So it is having a very large weight. That's why it is called most significant bit. This digital technique information or digital electronics information we are knowing, binary theory. This we have seen yesterday. Then bits and bytes. Again, if you consider whatever I was saying, the weight of the number position, the LSB weight is different and MSB weight is different. That is shown here. So in this case, numbering is done for the bit position. So this is first position of the bit. This is second position of the bit. This is third position of the bit. And similarly, fourth position of the bit, fifth position of the bit, sixth position of the bit, seventh position of the bit, and eighth position of bit position. These are the bit positions. Okay. In which the bit position is there? In byte. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bits are there. 8 bit means 1 byte. It is 1 byte. So, in 1 byte there are 8 bits. So, first bit on this side, we can say this is the rightmost side, isn't it? Rightmost side. This is leftmost side. We start writing from left side and we end writing the line and on right side. So rightmost side, whatever bit position is there, this is LSB, least significant bit. LSB, least significant bit. And the leftmost bit in the same number is MSB, most significant bit. This is MSB. Now LSB is having minimum weight, as we have discussed yesterday also on the slide before this slide also, and MSB is having most significant bit position and it is having maximum weight in that particular number of bits. Now this weight means what? Suppose here bit is 1, then this bit 1 and multiply by its position weight. What is the position weight is written here. So first position weight is 2 raised to 0. Second position weight is, or we can say coefficient. Okay. Your teacher might have said this as a coefficient. You must have learned or read in the book as a coefficient. You can say coefficient or bit because we are multiplying with the bit. So this is coefficient or weight. So this weight or coefficient is 2 raised to 0 for first bit. For second bit it is 2 raised to 1. For third bit it is 2 raised to 2. For fourth bit it is 2 raised to 3. And similarly For first bit 2 raised to 0, second bit 2 raised to 1, third bit 2 raised to 2, fourth bit 2 raised to 3, fifth bit 2 raised to 4, sixth bit 2 raised to 5, seventh bit 2 raised to 6, and eighth bit 2 raised to 7 weight is there. So weight or coefficient is for 8th bit, this is 8th bit is 2 raised to 7. So how much value is there? 2 raised to 0 is 1. We know 2 raised to 0 is 1. Anything raised to 0 is 1. 2 raised to 1 is 2. 2 raised to 1 is 2. 2 raised to 2 is 2 into 2, 4. 2 raised to 3 is 2 into 2 into 2 is 8. 2 raised to 4 is 2, 4 times multiplication is 16. 2 raised to 5, 5 times 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 32. 6 times 2, 2 raised to 6. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 64. And 7 times 2 raised to 7, 7 times 2 multiplication, 128. So these are the weight or coefficients. The weight for first location is 1, for weight for second position is 2, weight for third position is 4, weight for fourth position is 8, weight for fifth position is 16, weight or coefficient for sixth position is 32, weight for seventh position or weight or coefficient for seventh position is 64, and coefficient for 8th position is 128. So largest weight is there for this particular position, bit position. That's why this bit position or this bit is called MSB, most significant, most important, most large bit, and this is least significant, minimum, kamit kami, smallest one. Suppose this bit is 1, then we have to multiply by this weight, 1 into 1. Suppose this bit is also 1, for this bit we will multiply 1 into its coefficient 2. For this bit 1, 1 into 4. For this bit 1, 1 into 8. For this bit 1, 1 into 16. This bit 1, 1 into 32. This bit 1, 1 into 64. This bit 1, 1 into 128. And we add together. 1 into 1, 1, 1 into 2, 1, 2, 1 into 4, 4, 1 into 5, 1 into 6, 8, 8. And we add together. If we add together, this becomes 255, all ones. Suppose any bit is 0, suppose 0, LSB is 0. So LSB is 0 multiplied by its coefficient is 1. So 0 into 1 is 0. So value due to this bit is 0. Suppose this is 0, 0 into 2 is 0. So this is 1, 1 into 4 is 4. This is 1, 1 into 8 is 8. This is suppose 0, 0 into 32 is 0, 0 into 16 is 0, 0 into 32 is 0, 1 into 64, suppose this is 1, 1 into 64 is 64. Those bits are 1, their weight will be added, those bits are 0, their weight will be 0. So in this way, we define the value of any bit. The bit starts from LSB up to MSB. In one byte, there are 8 bits, so first bit is LSB and last bit, highest bit is MSB. If it is a word, then there will be 16 bits. So one LSB will be there and one MSB will be there. And this is the bits and bytes and calculations. So what about the analog input? So in case of analog input, as we have seen from this, there are different 8 levels. 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 20, 128. So 8 bits are there, and 8 bits will form 255 levels. 255 levels. Okay. Levels means 255 combinations. Suppose all 0 are there, value is 0. So first 7 are 0 and last one is 1, value is 1. So first 6 are 0 and second is 1 and last is 0, value is 2. So all these 0, 2 number is 1 and 1 number is 1, value is 3. 3 number 1 आहे, बाकी सगळे 0 आहे, value is 4. 3 नंबर 1 आहे, 2 नंबर 0 आहे आणि 1 नंबर 1 आहे. व्हॅल्यू इज 5 अँड सो ऑन. अशा किती व्हॅल्यू होतात? 256 व्हॅल्यू होतात. कॉम्बिनेशन्स किती होतात त्याचे? 8 बिटचे 256. So what is analog Arduino analog input? There are 256 combinations because there are 8 bits for analog. No, 10 bits for analog. So there will be 1023 combinations, 2 raised to n. So these levels are totally 1024 levels. 1024 combinations, 0 to 1023. Okay. So this voltage will be divided into total 1023 different levels. So this is the resolution. There will be 1023 such values, levels. Okay. And this depending on 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That is all 8 bits are 0 to all 8 bits are 1. So this is 0, 0 to FF. There will be 1024 levels and accordingly there will be 1024 different values. Those are assigned to this analog voltage. So this analog voltage is divided into 1024 different levels. So this dividing into levels is the process of digitizing the analog signal. Okay. How the analog signal is digitized is, first the different time samples are taken. These are the time samples. Okay. We can see this. So here sample is taken, this is the value, here sample is taken, this is the value, here sample is taken, this is the value, here sample is taken, this is the value. This location sample is taken, this is the value. At this time sample is taken, this is the value. Here this is the value. So these are the sample points. Once sample is taken, this sample is compared with the level which is available and that level value is stored for that sample. This is the digitization process. So this is the analog sample and this is digital signal. Digital signal is step-like signal. Okay. And these are the digital points. So this is the digital signal, step-like, and this is the digital point. And this is the analog signal. Analog signal varies for infinite values, but digital signal varies for only 1024 values, limited. Digital signal is limited value signal and analog signal is infinite possibilities are there. Any value, infinite values will be there from 0 to 5 volts. Okay. But that 0 to 5 volt is, and in analog case infinite values are there, but in digital case that 0 to 5 volt is divided into limited number of levels, that is 1024 levels are there. So this y-axis voltage and x-axis time, this voltage is divided, analog voltage is divided into digital value. So this dotted is digital signal. So this analog signal converted into this dotted digital signal. Okay, continuous wave is analog signal. So this we are knowing, we have studied this in the digital techniques. Okay. Now the Arduino analog input is having the resolution Arduino analog input is having the resolution, the number of different voltage levels, that is states used to discretize the input signal. Resolution of the Arduino analog input, just we have this seen. Resolution is the number of different voltage levels. How many voltage levels are there? 10 bits are there, then how many levels are there? 1024. For 8 bits, how many levels are there? 256. For 32 bits, how many levels are possible? Just see. 429 crore, 49 lakhs, 67,296. Okay, 429 crores. In million and billion, trillion, we can easily say three numbers are divided. Okay. So this is about 32 bit. Okay. So in case of 8 bits, 256 levels are there. In case of 10 bits, 1024 levels are there. So this is the resolution. Resolution depends on number of bits used. If 8 bits are used, resolution will be 256, and if 10 bits are used, resolution will be 1024. Okay. States. 10 bit resolution, 8 bit resolution, states will be 256 and 1024. So, if 0 to 5 volt is the range, then that 0 to 5 volt, 5 minus 0 is 5 divided by 1024 levels. So 5 volt is divided by 1024 levels. So what will be one level? 4.8 millivolt. What will be the one level? 4.8 millivolt. 0 to 4.8 millivolt, then 4.8 millivolt to additional 4.8. Okay, that is 9.6 millivolt, and 9.6 to again additional 4.8, and likewise. Okay. So similarly, for 8 bit also you can find the details. For 8 bit, 256 states are there. Then 5 volt you can divide by in 256 levels, and there will be the voltage for that. Okay, you can calculate it. So this is the resolution. What do you mean by resolution? The number of different voltage levels, that is the states, used to discretize the input signal. The number of level used to discretize the input analog signal. Discretize. We discretize. Whenever the continuous signal is there, we divide that signal into our predefined levels. That is called discretization. So 1024 levels are there. So that is discretization. 256 levels are there. That is discretization. So for input there are 10 bits. For output there are 8 bits. Okay. So accordingly the resolution will be there. So analog input, again the same thing is shown here. So suppose there is some signal, music signal or some sinusoidal wave. Okay. So this signal is shown, blue signal, 10 kilohertz reference analog signal. Okay. And sorry, this violet color. Blue color is sampling 44.1 kilohertz. This is for audio. And red is for sampling of 192 kilohertz CD and DVD audio. If the sampling is less in kilohertz, it will have more time period for sampling. But if sampling is with higher sampling frequency, it will sample very fast, and that's why the accuracy of the signal will be more with more number of bits, frequency, with higher frequency. Accurately signal will be tracked. This violet is a signal, and this is very accurately tracked by red colored samples. Whereas a blue colored sample, it will not very accurately track it. Okay, more sinusoidal signal, near sinusoidal signal will be of red colored signal. So this is the meaning of that. More the sampling rate, more accurate the wave, accurate the signal. Okay. So resolution is more, signal will be accurate. Resolution is less, signal will be less accurate. So this is the meaning of this. Okay. So analog output, how it is, that we can see analog output how it is. In this simple example, we can see it can be simulated using the pulse width modulation, PWM. So this is 100% brightness. You can see the intensity is very large, and this is 23% brightness. Intensity is very less. Okay, these are the LEDs. Same LED is there. If we keep less brightness, PWM number is less, so it will give less intensity. And if we give maximum 5 volt to this LED, then it will glow very brightly. Okay, it will emit the light very brightly. Intensity of the light emitted is very bright, very high. And this can be done with PWM output. Okay, 0 to 5 you can have. For 0 to 5, 0 to 255 is the number for output. 128 will output half of the intensity, that is 50% of the brightness. 128. 255 outputted, it will give 100% brightness. We have seen this. What is the number if what amplitude is outputted, analog output. And the same thing is shown here, just to understand what is the pulse width modulation. This figure is very self-explanatory. This is PWM, pulse width modulation. If you look at this figure very carefully, you will understand the concept of pulse width modulation. Okay. This is pulse width modulation. Pulse width modulation. So what is pulse width modulation? I will tell you that suppose square wave is there, that is started on state of the square wave and then off state of the square wave. This completes one cycle. This is the time duration capital T. For one cycle, time duration is capital T. Similarly, one more wave is there. It starts with on condition and then it continues for some time in off condition. So this is the wave which is having positive half cycle and negative half cycle. So this is a time duration, capital T. Okay, capital T. So this is another example of the wave. Similarly, there is some on time and then some off time. So this on time plus off time, it is time period, capital T. Okay. So on time plus off time is capital T. Again on time plus off time is capital T. Again on time plus off time is capital T. So capital T is time period of the wave that we are knowing. What is the difference in these waves? Only waves, if you look at, the on time is 75%. Okay, on time is 75% and off time is 25%. Okay. Then in second wave, on time is 50% and off time is also 50%, equal. And in third case, on time is 25% and off time is 75%. On time is 25% and off time is 75%. This is third case. Okay, three cases are there. What is the effect? 75-25, 50-50 and 25-75. What is the effect? We call for one, and one more thing, if you observe, all these waves are having same T. T is same, isn't it? Time period of wave is same. On plus off duration is same. On duration plus off duration is same, T. Here also on duration and off duration is equal to capital T, is equal to previous case. Similarly, next case, T is same, but on period and off period is added together, it will give capital T. So its frequency is constant or time period is also constant. What is changing? On time and off time is changing. Barabar. So we define duty cycle, capital D, duty cycle, by T on divided by T total or capital T. That means T on plus T off. T on plus T off. Okay. D is equal to T on upon T on plus T off. Okay. D is equal to T on upon T on plus T off. It is duty cycle. Duty cycle. What will be the duty cycle here? First case. T on is 75% of T and T on plus T off is 100%. So it is 75% duty cycle. 75 divided by 100. 0.75. It is 0.75 or 75%. Similarly, on period is 50, on plus off is 100. It is 50%. How much duty cycle? 50%. Similarly here, 25%. 25 divided by 25 plus 70. 25 divided by 25 plus 70. 25%. 75%, 50% and 25%. What is changing? Duty cycle is changing. So this is 75% duty cycle, this is 50% duty cycle and this is 25% duty cycle. Now, what is on and off? Off is 0 and on is 5 volt. Off is 0, on is 5 volt. Off is 0, on is 5 volt. So what is the microprocessor is doing is the microprocessor is keeping the time period capital T constant and making that particular single pin on for some time duration and off for some time duration during that capital T. And this is the pulse width modulation. Now, if you average this voltage value, average this square wave, if you average the square wave, it will give analog value. From digital, on and off two levels are there. This is digital. Controller do not know analog. What it will do? It will make on the pin for some time and make off pin for some time. Again, make on the pin for some time and make off pin sometime. This repeated, square wave will be repeated at every capital T. Again, if this T completes, next T starts and again for next T, 75% of the T will be on condition and 25% will be off condition and this repeats and this gives 75% duty cycle square wave. And if you average it, it will give 75% voltage. That means 5 voltage multiplied by 0.75. Okay, 5 voltage multiplied by 0.75. Okay, so instead of 5 volt, the LED is connected 5 multiplied by 0.75. So it will give the light 75%. So its brightness is 75%. It will give the light 75%. Its brightness is 75%. Similarly, if the wave is 50% on, 50% off, then if we average it, it will be 5 into 0.5, 50%. 5 into 0.5, that is 2.5. Okay, 5 into 0.5, it is 2.5. So it is 50% voltage, so 50% brightness. Okay, here it is 75% brightness, here it is 50% brightness because voltage is analog voltage available is 2.5 instead of 5. Why analog voltage is 2.5? Because the digital output generating the square wave becoming 1 second. I am having the call, so I may be disconnected for 1 minute. So let us continue. What we are discussing is uh, uh, pin is having digital output basically, and the digital output is made on and off at particular time interval, capital T. Okay. Now this particular capital T is divided into two parts, on time and off time. Now if on time and off time are varied within that capital T, then that analog value, which is average of this square wave, varies. Okay. So how the microcontroller is generating analog value is clear now. Microcontroller is giving digital value only on the pin, but that digital value, it is fluctuating between low and high. It is varying between low and high at some time period, capital T, with some duty cycle, that is percentage of on and off ratio, on and total ratio. If duty cycle is 25%, it will give 25% of 5 volt, that is 1.25 volt. If duty cycle is 50%, it will give 50% of 5 volt, that is 2.5 volt. If the duty cycle is 75%, it will give 75% of 5 volt, whatever, 3.75 something. Okay. So in this way, microcontroller is varying the PWM output, that duty cycle. It is generating PWM output. Now to this square wave, if we average, we will get analog value. What we are getting is PWM. What we are getting is this wave, square wave. This is PWM. Okay. These square waves are PWM. What we are getting are these values, PWM. And when we average this square wave, then we will get analog value. And how to average? Demodulate PWM. And how to demodulate? Averaging component is connected, capacitor is connected, low pass filter. Simple. So when we connect low pass filter or capacitor, it will average and it will give analog value. And if you connect the LED, LED will show the brightness. You can do this experiment. You can send this PWM output as suppose 128, it will give 50% intensity. If you send it like 64, it will show you 25% duty cycle, 25% intensity. If you send it 128 plus 64, how much it is? 128 plus 64. 28 plus 4, 32, 32 and 80. 212 something. Okay. 212. So 212 if you send, it will give 75% brightness. 255 you will send, it will give 100% brightness. And in this way you can check the brightness. First send 80 number, then send 128 number, then send 100 to 150 number, then send 212 number, then send, and so on. 300, 400 number. Sorry, not 300. It is less than 256. 212, then you can send 240 and 255 up to 255. So if you send 255, it will give you 100% brightness. Okay. So in this way, 8-bit resolution PWM output can be verified. And while verifying, you can connect this pin to digital storage oscilloscope so that you can observe this on time off time also. Or you can connect the LED and you can observe the intensity also. You have to do this experiment. So in PWM modulation, it can't use digital pins to directly supply 2.45 volts. Suppose we want 2.5 volt, it can't use the digital pins to directly supply 2.5 volt, but it can pulse the output on and off really fast to produce some same effect of 2.5 volt. Same effect of 2.5 volt. Okay. So if this PWM is operating at very high frequency, then and giving the output like this, whatever voltage, if you want 2.5, then 50% on, 50% off, then actually it is giving PWM. It can't say, it is not sending, these digital pins are not sending 2.5 directly, but it can send the pulse output on and off really fast to produce same effect as analog 2.5. Analog 2.5 चा effect तुम्हाला मिळेल, but it is not analog. Again you want actual analog, then you have to demodulate that. Okay. Or directly you can connect the DC motor, or directly you can connect the LED, and they will get the effect of 2.5. But it is not actually analog 2.5. It is the effect of 2.5 because of the PWM output, average output. The on-off pulsing happens so quickly, the connected output device sees the result as reduction in the voltage. That on-off pulsing is happening so fast that connected LED observes that the voltage is reduced and not as a pulsating voltage. It observes, that device feels or observes the 2.5 volt. Okay, but and not 50% varying 5 volt in this way. Okay, so this is the effect of pulse width modulation. This is the use of pulse width modulation, and these are the details of theory of pulse width modulation. I hope you have understood the theory of pulse width modulation. It is very important to understand the pulse width modulation, because we are using this concept for sending the analog signals, and if we understood this, then we can send the accurate analog voltages you require according to our applications. Okay, so this is pulse width modulation. What is there in the pulse width modulation? In pulse width modulation, any particular digital pin, suppose D3 is there, D5 is there, D6, whatever, D9, D10, D11, these 6 pins are PWM pins. So any PWM pin can be outputted analog data, analog output. If in that case you send suppose 2.5 volt analog, then actual 2.5 is not observed on the pin, but the PWM equivalent digital output is observed. So like for 2.5, 50% square wave will be observed in between 0 and 5 volt, in between low and high volt logic. In between low and high logic, it is observed the 50% on off, and it is very fast. It is very fast pulsating. And the device connected like DC motor, LED, or even multimeter, if you connect, that device observes this as analog 2.5 volt. That device do not understand. It observes 2.5 analog. Multimeter also observes 2.5 analog. Okay. But if you connect the storage oscilloscope then you can understand, or you are able to observe actual wave, that is not the 2.5 DC, it is 5 volt square wave with 50% duty cycle. Okay, it is 5 volt square wave with 50% duty cycle and not 2.5 volt analog voltage, and this can be observed only on CRO, digital scope, because it is pulsating very fast. It is switching in between low logic and high logic, 0 to 5, very fast. Okay, so the devices LED and the DC motor observe it directly, or even multimeter, if you measure it using multimeter, it observes it directly DC volt 2.5. So in this way it is sending DC volt, but it is not actual DC volt, it is PWM output, and we have seen the concept of PWM. Okay, PWM is nothing but low and high switching in between, the switching voltage in between low and high, that is 0 and 5 volt, having the constant period with very high frequency or very short period. This capital T is very short, very high frequency pulsating square wave is there, and its on and off period is controlled in proportion to the voltage output. If the voltage output is very small, on period is very small. If voltage output is very large, that is 5 volt, up to 5 volt, range is 0 to 5. If voltage output is very large, up to near 5 volt, it will be maximum on period and very short off period. For 255 it is completely on and no off is there. So in this way the PWM acts as the analog voltage. PWM is not actually analog voltage, but it is pulsating DC voltage. Again and again we are repeating to just have more clarity. Okay, so I hope this PWM is very clear, because it is an important concept. We are using it in the analog signal. So according to PWM, some examples are shown here. PWM duty cycle, output voltage is on time upon cycle time multiplied by 5 volt. Okay, so this PWM duty cycle is used for output voltage. Output voltage is on time divided by cycle time multiplied by 5 volt. Fixed cycle length is there. Cycle time is fixed. Constant number of cycles per second are there, isn't it? Capital T is fixed. But on time varies. Cycle time is constant. Cycle time is constant. One cycle in this duration. But on period varies. On time varies. And switching is between 0 and 5 volt. 0 and 5 volt. 0 and 5 volt. Okay. Suppose this is 75% on period, this is 50% on period, this is 20% on period. What will the voltage? 75 multiplied by 5. Okay, 75 divided by 100 multiplied by 5. It is 3.75 volts. Here 50 multiplied by 100 multiplied by 5 volts. This is 2.5 volts. Here 20 multiplied by 5 divided by 100. 20 divided by 100 multiplied by 5. It is 1 volt. Okay, so for 3.75 voltage which we observe by multimeter, actual waveform is like this. For 2.5 volt we observe on the multimeter. If you connect the multimeter there, actual waveform is like this. For 1 volt if you measure by multimeter, actual waveform is like this. For 1.25 actual waveform is 25% on, 75% off. Okay, you understood? Okay, so this is the these are the examples: 20%, 50%, 75%. Okay, DC is available to the LED. Analog voltage DC is available to the LED, DC motor, or even multimeter is 1 volt, 2.5 volt, 3.75 volts, but actual pin waveform are like this, and only these waveforms are possible to observe on CRO, digital storage oscilloscope. Okay, so these are the examples of PWM. And where we are getting this PWM? The PWM pins are there. We are knowing Arduino board has built-in PWM circuits on pin number 3, pin number 5, pin number 6, pin number 9, pin number 10 and pin number 11. So 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 are the pins where the PWM output is available. Inbuilt PWM circuits are there. What is the command to use that PWM? The command to use that PWM is analog write pin value. Analog write pin value. W is capital in the analog write. Pin is pin number, either 3 or 5 or 6 or 9 or 10 or 11. Analog write is only working on 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Any other pin if you give, it will give error. It will show error. And what is value? Value is either 0 to 255. Okay. Either 128 or say 64, or you may give 0, you may give 255. So you have to calculate the equivalent number in between 0 to 255 for any voltage. Suppose you want to give 1.67 voltage, then you have to calculate that number. Okay. So 255 is equivalent to 5. 5 is equivalent to 255. What is the number for 167? 1.67. 1.67 divided by 5 multiplied by 255. You will get that number. Okay. So in this way. So these are the examples. Value of duty cycle is between 0 and 255. Example is analog write 9. Pin number suppose 9 is there. 9 is analog PWM pin. Analog write 9, 128. So 9 number pin will give how much voltage? 128 means 50% duty cycle, 2.5 volts. Analog write 11, 11 number pin is 64. So how much output voltage it will give? 25% duty cycle. So 25% duty cycle analog output is how much? 1.25. And what are the pins on this board? PWM pins. PWM pins are 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. PWM pins are 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. So this is the 3 number pin, this is the 5 number pin, this is the 6 number pin, 9, 10, 11 number pin. Okay. And what is there on the symbol? PWM is written. And symbol is sinusoidal like symbol on these 3 or these 6 pins. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then there is 12, 13 and some number. There is a ground and reference. Okay. So this is 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. These are the pins for PWM. Here it is written PWM. Okay. These are the PWM pins. 3, 6, 9. Sorry, 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So this is about PWM pins and their duty cycles according, and their commands. Important, how to output the DC voltage, and those commands we should know. We cannot output 2.5, but we have to calculate what is the number for 2.5, that is 128, and then we have to output analog write 128. On which pin? Only 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. So for analog output, only we have to use 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. And what we have to out for 5 volt? 255. What we have to out for 2.5 volt? 128. What we have to out for 1.25? 64. What we have to out for 1 volt? 1 by 5 multiplied by 255. Okay, 255 by 5. That is the number for 1 volt. How much it comes? You can calculate. 250 by 5. It is 51. If you out 51, it will give 1 volt. If you out 64, it will give 1.25 volt. 1.25 divided by 5 multiplied by 255. So it is 64 number. Okay, 64. So in this way you can calculate. Okay. For 255, it is 5 volt. Then for whatever your voltage is there, you can calculate that number and you can add into these commands. So to write the command, first we have to find out the number in the range of 0 to 255 for the range of analog range of 0 to 5 volt. For analog range of 0 to 5 volt, there is a PWM range of 0 to 255. Then we have to find out the number equivalent for that analog value, and then we can write that number into the command instruction. Then that instruction can generate that PWM signal on that particular pin, and then again particular pins are also limited and those are fixed and those are having the numbers 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we have to use only these 6 pins 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 for analog output, isn't it? For analog output, we can use only 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. First thing. Second thing, we have to calculate the number in the range of 0 to 255 for the voltage which is again in the range of analog 0 to 5 volt. Okay. So, for suppose 1.33 voltage, we have to find out that number. So for 5 volt, we have to output 255. This is we are knowing. For 5 volt, number is 255. What is the number for 1.33? We can calculate it. For 5, it is 255. What is for 1.33? So it is 1.33 multiplied by 255 divided by 5. So if we solve this problem calculation, 1.33 multiplied by 255 divided by 5, the number is 67.83, 68. Number is 68. We have to output 68. Then we have to write analog write W capital, analog write into bracket any of these pins. Suppose we want to send on 3 number pin 1.33. So analog write 3 comma 68. So this will give 1.33 voltage or equivalent to 1.33 voltage on pin number 3. On pin number 3. Similarly, any voltage you send on any pin, that voltage equivalent number we have to calculate and then we have to analog write on that particular pin with that number which is equivalent to that voltage in the range of 0 to 5 volt analog, and that number is in the range of 0 to 255. Correct? So it is very simple to use the analog out program. In the program, we have to analog out. How to analog out? We have to analog out the signal. First, we should know what is the analog value in the range of 0 to 5. Then, for 5 volt, the number is 255. Then for our analog value, what is that number? That we have to calculate. The formula becomes like this: our voltage to set out divided by 5 multiplied by 255. So 255 divided by 5, that factor we have to multiply with our analog voltage. Which factor? Let us calculate that factor. 255 divided by 5, that is 51. So we have to multiply by 51 to our analog voltage. Then we will get directly the number. Suppose 2.5 volt is our analog voltage, multiplied by 51, you will get 128, 127.5. So we have to give the integer number. So 128, round off it. Then suppose we want to send 1.2 volt multiplied by 51. You have to send 61 number. Then suppose we want to send 4.5 volt into multiplied by 51. It is 230 number, isn't it? So it is very simple. It is very simple. So first we have to see the range for analog 5. The digital range is 255. Therefore, for 5 it is 255. So for whatever our voltage, what is the number that we have to calculate, and that number we have to use into the analog right, and one of the 6 pins we have to use into analog right, and those 6 pins are 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11. Of course. So I think only one slide is remaining. This is 44. Yes. We'll finish this slide, and so that this particular PPT will be ending. If you want to write the first program, we have to have setup, we have to have loop, we can have block commands, we can have line commands, we can have setting mode of the pins, we can have writing on the pins, and we can have the delays. These are the most important and commonly used activities, isn't it? These are the commonly used activities. There is always setup, there is always loop, there must be block commands. So we should write the comments so that we understand. There must be always line comments. Block comments and line comments are not the part of program. If you do not write it, program will work well, fine. But if you write it, program will become more readable. Okay, block command, comment and line comment. And we can set the mode of the pin. Okay, either pin is input pin or pin is output pin. We have to set the pin mode, and we have to write it on the pin or read it the pin, and you can use the delay. These are the common things in the these are the common things in the PPT, in this program. Okay, these are the common things. So this is the blink example of the program. This is having the block command, isn't it? So this is the block command. This is having the setup, this is having the loop, and these are the line commands. And we are setting the mode. 30 number is output. Then we are writing it. Digital write, we are having delay, we are having digital write, we are having delay, and these are the line commands. And we are outputting high and low. We are setting here the pin mode. So these are the commonly used instructions. So we have seen this. Okay. So thank you. Be at home, be healthy, be safe. We stop the open source software and hardware here for today. And for tomorrow, I will again give the time because tomorrow I have to go 10 o'clock. I am having the work at the college. So before 10 o'clock, if you are ready, you can give me your time so that I can continue 8:30 to 9:30 or 9 to 10 if you want. I will go to college 9 and before 8:30 I will go to college and 9 to 10. Otherwise, after finishing my work in the college, I can conduct it in the evening. Okay, as you wish. So in the evening, we will continue. Okay. So day after tomorrow there is a Dasera, so we may take the holiday. If you wish, you can continue also because after Diwali immediately there will be midterm examination, and we have to finish one unit, third number unit, isn't it? And before that we have to check how to install the software and how to use it, isn't it? So let us stop today. If you are ready for early morning lecture, one lecture I can take early morning, one lecture at evening. So 1 hour we can do. Otherwise, if 2 hours are required, then we have to start at 7:30 to 9:30 or 8 to 9, 8 to 10. But we have to keep spare 10-15 minutes because of the light fluctuation, electricity fluctuation, etc. Connectivity fluctuation. Okay, probably evening lectures are possible tomorrow. If tomorrow not possible, if we, if you all are ready, we can take on uh, Friday. Okay. Friday is holiday. Dasara is there. If we find some 2.5 hours, 2 hours, we'll conduct. Okay. Thank you. We stop here for open source software and hardware. We continue on the same link for embedded system. Thank you.